A local story has gotten national attention.
A violent robbery caught on camera, the victim now paralyzed, and the 17-year-old suspect behind bars. But this headline serves as a reminder of the ongoing problem of jugging. Kevin Coffey is a travel security and personal safety trainer. He's also a former police detective. He joins us live now. Good morning. Welcome to Houston's Morning Show.
Good morning, guys. You get to have coffee with Coffey here, right? So here we go.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Let's talk about this Houston case here, because when we talk about jugging, does that mean someone has to follow a woman from a bank or follow somebody from a bank? In this case, it was 20 plus miles.
You know, absolutely. And let's keep something in perspective. The new term is jugging, but this has been around for over 30 years. People have been targeting users, customers at ATMs and banks for some time. A lot of these types of schemes and scams, they surge, they come back, they go away. And that's what's going on today, because we're having a lot of financial difficulties, you know, in the world here locally. And the thieves know that when people are going to the banks and going to ATMs, they're going to typically end up with a amount of cash that is going to be very valuable to the thieves. So you need to keep that in perspective, especially when you're going to these locations. Now, I always like to share this, and it's a very sad part of society, but you know, when we were younger, a lot of times people would sometimes teach situational awareness to their kids and being aware of your surroundings. It's just not done anymore today. So that's one of the first things I'm going to tell folks, is that when you're approaching these locations, you need to kind of keep an eye on what's going on when you're approaching. Let's talk a couple of them. When you're driving up to park in a parking lot, knowing that somebody could have followed you from one location or another, or they're going to target you when you go into the location, are people standing around? Are they sitting in cars next to you as you pull up? And this, when you take a look at anyone approaching a bank or an ATM, do this yourself next time, and just look how people are approaching the banks. You'll typically not see them doing like this, just looking over your shoulder. It's a simple act to kind of be aware of this. And again, you had mentioned women. People target men also. Yes, in this violent crime that we saw, it was impacting women, but it could do men also, and of all ages. When you approach the bank itself or the ATM, you know that prime time for the thief is that when you're putting your card into the machine and you're removing cash, right at that moment, you have to make sure that your card is already out. You don't have it in your wallet. You're not fiddling around and wasting precious time where thieves can get in for the kill, as sometimes we say. It's a wrong term to use in this circumstance, but that's usually what they're looking at in their mind. So you want to be able to get in and out. And as you're putting that card in, again, you're looking over your shoulders. You're looking to see if anybody is surrounding you or getting close to your area, because that's when the strike is going to occur. Now, the other thing is you have to be aware of when you're approaching these ATMs is many of them have a mirror at the very top. And when there's a mirror there, it's there for a reason for you to use it. But again, you'll notice many people never look at it. The other thing to be aware of is some thieves, when they're scouting areas, they'll actually break the mirror or remove it itself. So keep an eye out for that when it's coming up. And lastly, when you're starting to turn around and you have your cash, you're not counting it right there at the ATM. And you'd be surprised how many people do that. And again, a thief could be 20, 30, 50 feet away, and they can see somebody holding cash, and what they do with it, where they're putting it in their purse, where they're putting it in their pocket. You want to minimize the visual effect where the thief has to know where you're putting this money and your valuables when you're walking away from that. And the last thing is that when you turn and start to walk away, this is probably your second most vulnerable location. And this also has to do when you're leaving the bank or other locations where you've purchased something of value, such as an expensive handbag, where somebody might be targeting you because they are physically looking for specific victims to target. And they're looking for somebody who's typically walking alone. So if you're going to be walking back to your vehicle or into the parking lot, try to see if you can mirror up with someone who might be walking in a similar direction. And then keep an eye out for, again, somebody just looks like they're loitering around, somebody that could be in a vehicle, and lastly, somebody that could be driving by slowly, because sometimes that's what they'll do, is the passenger will be inside the vehicle as it goes to drive by you. They'll either reach out the window and grab a purse if you have it on your arm, or they'll actually stop right behind you, let the passenger out, and they come up and snatch your bag and walk away. So by keeping your head in a swivel a little bit, having situational awareness will greatly reduce the potential of these acts from occurring.
All right, got to keep our eyes open and our thoughts on what's going on around us. Thank you, Kevin Coffey. Always good to talk to you. Important info. Appreciate that.
Thanks.